As Donald Trump braces for possible indictments from the Manhattan District Attorney, his lawyer this week on TV kind of hinted at the legal tactic that Trump's team might be taking. The lawyer, of course, is Joe Taina. He appeared on Good Morning America this week where he hinted at the fact that they might be trying to use Melania Trump as the human shield from the indictments. Here's what Taina said. It's not directly, talking about the hush money payment to Stormy Daniels, it's not directly related to the campaign. He made this with personal funds to prevent something coming out that was false but embarrassing to himself, his family, his young son. And according to Raw Story, that has legal experts believing Trump will use his wife and how she would have reacted as a human shield should he go to trial. So Taina tells us that, hey, listen, yeah, you paid the money to Stormy Daniels, but that's because he didn't want to be embarrassed. And of course, he didn't want his poor wife to have to suffer that shame and embarrassment. His young son, Barron. My God, think about what it would have done to the kids. So that's why he did it, because Melania, he didn't want to get mad. God forbid you go home to that and you're like, oh, honey, I know you read the news today. That's a very weak argument. When you're having to use your wife as the human shield for indictments, you're already in a bad position, Donald. And here's why. Let's start with Taina's overall argument. Like, this was money from his personal funds. Was it? Was it? Because reports have suggested and prosecutors have alleged that it was actually reimbursed through the Trump organization, through a shell company. And then, of course, Alan Weisselberg, who Michael Cohen said he talked to, told him how to set up the shell company. And then the Trump organization overinflated what they call grossed out Michael Cohen's legal expenses to cover the cost of that. So was it really from Donald Trump's personal account? Because all of the indicators suggest that it actually came from the Trump organization. So on its face, your argument, before we even get to the Melania part, doesn't hold water based on available evidence. So I would say right off the bat, you're already screwed. Now, here's the thing. If Trump had not been running for president at the time and had not had to set up a shell company through Michael Cohen to then get reimbursed through the Trump organization, if Trump had just been a regular dude and he paid a woman out of his own pocket $130,000 to not say anything, that wouldn't be a crime. Like, you could legally do that. There's nothing wrong with it. Legally speaking, there's nothing wrong with it. But when you're running for president or any political office, and you make a payment like that, even if it's out of your own personal funds, it would still be considered an in-kind campaign contribution because you were worried about the damage it would do to your reputation, so you spent the money to make yourself look better, which is what a campaign is. It exceeded the legal limits, boom, you're in trouble. Now then you run it through your company, falsified documents, which again is what prosecutors are alleging. You falsified documents, then you got even more problems. Now, the big problem, as I've said before, is that falsifying, according to New York state law, and this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, falsifying business documents is just a misdemeanor. We're talking about one of the biggest cities on the planet where God knows how much business done across the world is completed in a day in New York City. And the law is, if you falsify your documents, it's just a misdemeanor. That is just flabbergasting. The only way it becomes a felony is if the falsification is done in furtherance of a second crime. Now, there's a possibility you could argue that the falsifying of documents was done as part of or in furtherance of a second crime. The second crime, of course, being concealing money so that it didn't appear like an illegal campaign contribution. That's when you can get popped with felony charges for it. Hopefully that's what Alan Bragg does, but I gotta tell you, Trump, your lawyers, everybody, if you're planning on using Melania as a human shield, saying, oh, we didn't want her to be embarrassed, yeah, that's not gonna fly. Because as we've seen over the years, he's done plenty of other very embarrassing things without once considering how it would affect Melania. Hi everyone, this here is little Athena, and Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet, so please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.